to another episode of Shut Up, I'm going to teach you something. I've been looking online for different ways to run my pressure canner over here, so when I'm canning my food, I'm not going to tear up my stove inside, or we're on gas, and it's just, you know, a 2-day process basically canning all of our food up, and we use all of our gas up. So I'm looking for a cheaper way to do it that still get the same result on canning my food. The idea is, this is what we're going to use for fuel, just twigs. We built this rocket stove. I'll break it down here in a little bit on how it actually works. But we're going to test it, and if the idea is, if I can get 20 pounds of pressure for 35 minutes with this canner, then we got it licked. So what I have here is basically 6-inch pipe. See down in there? Set up inside this brick chimney, I guess you would call it. And down here it has an elbow that comes out, and this is where you're going to be feeding your wood into for fuel. Now, in between the brick, I took wood ash out of our wood burning stove inside, and what that does, it gives it an insulation, and it makes this pipe really hot, and what it does is it'll burn the smoke, so you basically get a smokeless fire up here. Now what I did with this, I took a regular soup can and I cut it in half, and it just makes this little plate. And what this is going to do, this is going to slide in between here, and what you do is you load your wood on top of there, and then the air comes down here, sucks in through the bottom. As the heat rises out of here, it's going to suck the air through here, and it's going to create basically a rocket effect, and it's going to shoot up. It's going to get super hot, the smoke's going to burn, and hopefully we're going to be able to can our food. Okay, to get it started, I pull out the little pan out of here. So we just want to get the fire going. I'll throw some wadded up paper in there. It usually starts pretty quick, as long as you got some good dry wood. Just load a little bit of paper, doesn't need too much. And also pull it on the bottom half of this, kind of helps it out. You get that fire going underneath, and it'll draw up. I'll slide that into the top. These twigs like this, I'll shove it on top all the way to the back. And it's only going to burn the very end of it. And as it burns the end, you just fuel it by just keep pushing it in and pushing it in. And the cool thing is your ash that comes from it, you then take and put it back up here and use that for your insulation. Getting it started, I'll load them up here in the top too, just to get some good fire going. But then afterwards, you'll be feeding them all in through there. Like this, kind of put it in the bottom. Now, once the chimney gets heated up, it really gets that draw going. Now also, what helps when you start is to get down here and blow on it a little bit and get it really kicking. See, fire's coming up, and as that pipe gets hot, the ash will insulate it and make it really hot, and you can see the smoke will disappear. It's amazing how easy it is to light too. Yeah, you can see it's starting to draw pretty good through there. I don't want to put my camera directly over and melt my camera, but if you look down here, you see our twigs are fired up, fed through the top, and the air sucks from down here, and it just gets to rocking and rolling. You can see, and you can see that there's hardly no smoke, if any. Okay, so we have our, he's watched Campfire Cooking, we have these grates which come in handy, and I just have the rocks. Had to use some half rocks up here. First I had the big ones and it set it up too high. So with these half rocks, it'll set this cooker right where we need it. Give you another look. See, it's like a jet engine down there. Now if you listen, you can hear the draw. That's pretty hot right there. All right, so I put about 4 inches of water in my pan here, my cooker. I'm gonna place that right over the top. Okay, now to help try to contain the heat from going all over the place, I'm taking some more of these bricks and I'm just going to build like a little wall around it. Yeah, but the idea is make sure it works. When it works, then lay out 3 different stoves, all about this height, so it's easy to work with, and basically building us a summer kitchen that runs off of twigs. And that, my friend, is a big plus, especially if you've done any amount of canning in your kitchen. We have our neighbors, everybody's kind of pitching in, you know, going to help us in the garden. And then we're going to have at the end of the season, have a big canning party. And we plan to have it out here on the deck and get up tables and everybody just start processing the food. Well, heck, we can have 3 canners going at a time. I might even build some smaller rocket stoves to boil my jars with, you know. But it all depends on if this works or not, so let's find out. It is 8:55. We'll see how long it takes to get steam. Once it gets steam there, we'll let that run for about 7 minutes, and then we will put our weights on. Goats are out for their morning stroll this morning. All right, so it's about 9:15 now. We put this on about 5 to 9, so about 20 minutes to bring water to boil. You know, it's not too much different than my stove in there. So far, so good. I'm gonna let this run for about 10 minutes, and then we're gonna cap it with our 20-pound weight. See if we can't get some pressure built up in this thing. Okay, so of course it's starting to rain a little bit on me now. I don't want to get my camera all wet just for this, so it's good. We got pressure up there. We're going to put the 20-pound on there. See how that works. I'm going to sneak inside and let this pass. So I had to think quick because of the rain. I put that little piece of tin over the top of it. It's not touching the little pressure thing or anything. That's just basically to keep the rain from getting my ashes wet in there, because that ash is what insulates that pipe, and I don't want it cooling it off because that's what keeps the smoke down. All right, it's about 9:25 now. Starting to get a good steady stream hum on it. The idea now is to see if we can get this thing to run for 35 minutes at a constant hiss like that. If we know that, we can maintain the 20 pounds of pressure only using twigs. And it's important, this is not a set it and forget it kind of deal. You have to make sure that your twigs are pushed all the way in so that that fire, that heat stays constant. And it seems to be doing pretty well right now. We'll let it go a little bit longer. We've been going about 40 minutes. But as you can see, it's still at a steady hiss. All we had to do, we filled this up probably 6-7 times, just kept feeding it twigs, seems fine. So I feel comfortable that I'm going to be able to can using this method. Now you ask, well, how do you stop this thing when it's time to stop it? Well, you can pull the pot off, but I kind of like letting it sit. So this little metal tray, the outside of it's still cold. All you have to do is back the fire off. Set it right there. And it cools down pretty quickly because that hot air is still making it draw, and it's sucking in cool air. And I'll go ahead and take my bricks down. With the rain, kind of made me think might put a roof up over here. Maybe some gutters going into rain barrel. That way it can collect my water. And you can use that for your canning as well. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. I hope you are too. It's been another episode of Shut Up, I'm Gonna Teach You Something. Canning on a rocket stove.